We need to show them that it's okay to say, I'm English and I'm proud.
Proud? I am English and I am very proud too. Do you know why? Because we are multicultural, because we are tolerant, and because we are completely opposite everything that you stand for.
We take him to the match, we show him a good time, we become his best mate. I want him to know that the only place he belongs is with us.
We can support you. And there are organisations out there that can help you find things like accommodation and financial aid.
Thank you. That's all I want.
I thought the storyline was very impactful, and it just goes to show that anyone can be radicalised, you know. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what journey in life has been up to in this point. It just proves that anyone who's anyone can be radicalised. My journey in the far right began in high school. A friend of mine, he was in the far right, and through him I got invited to a social media group. And it kind of felt like it was always us against them. Not just in terms of us being white people against other people, in terms of like our friendship group against authority. And I think just that very anti-authoritarian mentality really coincided with the far-right mentality.
Being a person of colour, you have experiences of racism and people and hatred towards you, and I think I was quite lucky because I grew up and I had the odd incident, but not a big deal, but a lot of my friends in different parts of the country had more. And when we do something like this, it just brings it home again. People's experiences and what they went through, and actually what some people are still going through.
Hollyoaks has gone, nose deep into this and head first almost into the deep end, and brought it right to the forefront of a younger audience to say, hey, we can change this.
Yeah.
We can do something about this.
Yeah.
For me, where kind of the racist mentality came in was when I seen a post on the group which said, if you think British soldiers shouldn't be on the street, share this post. And for me, I have an uncle that served in Iraq, and when he came home, he had a lot of problems with drugs and alcohol and things, and at the time, I didn't think he could get help and support. But in reality, he just didn't want it at that time in his life. And the people in the far right group kind of said, well, the only reason soldiers don't get help is because Muslims and immigrants are taking all the money. And that's really where that really, almost foundation layer of that far right mentality, started with me. In all honesty, it did take me a good while to realise I was involved in something wrong. It took me a good couple of years later when I first started going to the demos, really. That's when I started to realise that what I was involved in was quite dangerous. I started falling out with some really close family members. I was always quite paranoid that people would recognise me from going to the demonstrations. And there's actually a documentary by Professor Green, and he said, he was at a demo that I was at, and he actually said in the documentary, most of these people here don't actually believe in what they're saying. They're just very angry people that are using the far right as a way to vent their anger. And I really related to that. And then Prevent came, and that was kind of the final thing that I needed to get me to leave, really.
So tell me, how does Prevent work?
So at its core, it is an early intervention programme that seeks to help people by working out what vulnerabilities they've got. So that relies on somebody that cares about them generally, who knows them really well, giving us some information to say, look, I'm really worried about Steve. This is what kind of Steve's journey feels like it's been. This is his behaviour that I'm seeing. Prevent is there to protect people, to protect particularly vulnerable people that, as Steve was, are drawn into quite often an immersive world of hate.
Prevent came in and spoke to me. There was a police officer there was a high-ranking Prevent member there, and there was my Prevent IP. A Prevent IP is an intervention provider. They're essentially your mentor that will mentor you out of your extremist group. Straight away he said to me, I grew up here, this is what my family life was like, this is what I was doing when I grew up, and it was very, very similar to what I was doing. So having a really good connection with him, went on to the one-to-one meetings with him, and we had very similar interests, you know, certain sports and things like that. Just building a good connection with him is what really made me listen to him.
The really important thing for us is if people are volunteering to take that step, then that's a brilliant thing, because that means that we've got people that we can work with and we can try and help. What we're not going to do is to go to that group and say, we're taking Steve away from you now, and you know, in the case of Steve, we're taking Steve away from you now, and you know, we're going to protect him, look after him, and increase that risk. So we will act in confidence. We will work with that person to get them to a point where they can be comfortable about their next step, moving away. Every single case is dealt with separately, but the officers that work on Prevent are hugely experienced. They've dealt with hundreds of cases, and they can work with individuals to work out what is the right plan for them.
College invited Prevent to come in and host the one-to-one meetings at the college. So yeah, it was good that my college really did welcome Prevent in. I was really taken aback by how much people wanted to help me. It's the first time that people really spoke to me and didn't have a predetermined opinion on what I was going through. They never said I was racist, they never said I was a Nazi, they never said anything like that. They just generally sat down and spoke to me, you know, and showed that they were really interested in me, really interested in what was best for me.
What we want to do is to get in early to stop people from ruining their lives, and so Prevent will often be working really closely with parents, with schools, with colleges, pulling them away from the extremist narratives and the hate, giving them something positive. Often that might mean, you know, university course, college course, different direction with school, opportunities through work. Prevent is about providing opportunities as an alternative to hate.
Now I've left, I'm a much, much happier person. I'm much more laid back, I'm relaxed. Compared to when I was in the far right, I was very angry, very aggressive all the time. Obviously, looking back, you know, I'm ashamed of what I did, and I can't really apologise enough for my actions back then. But moving forward now, I'm a lot happier and really looking forward to what's coming in the future, really.
Is there a particular website people could head to or tell us?
So let's talk about it. If people Google that, that's a website that we have that provides lots of information about the signs of radicalisation and how to get help and how to reach us. There's more information that we'll put on at the end of this video that will again tell people how they can reach us. But there is loads of information out there. It's really easy to get in touch with us, and the starting point is just a phone call where we can have a conversation and test whether or not those concerns are actually genuinely held, and if actually somebody needs some help, and if they do, then we can come along and help.
Talking about it and being open about it and going, well, we can change this, we can make a difference. It's like my children and you know, their future children, it's that generation that's going to change all this.
Yes.
Not us, you know, but we can start.
We can start
and
the
make
journey.
A difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I suppose starting the journey with our storyline, it is that thing of saying, it's okay to talk about it, and you can turn around and say to someone, this isn't right.
Doesn't feel
this
right.
doesn't feel right. I think this is happening. It's not right. And knowing that there is something that can be done about that.
Have you seen a spike in people making calls to Prevent from watching the show?
We've certainly seen stories coming through Prevent referrals that you know, about far-right journeys that people have had that are relevant to Steve's story. We know from working with the mentors that have also worked with the show that they've had people coming directly to them for help and advice, people saying, I'm trapped in a journey like Steve's and I want to escape from that. How can I do that? Can I get help? That's been absolutely fantastic. And I think even with all the effort that went into the show and to building the storyline, if that helped just one person and that stopped one person from going and doing something really terrible and destroying their life, the lives of others, the lives of their family and friends, then it makes it all worthwhile for me. So it isn't for us about the pure numbers that we might count of referrals that come in. If we can raise awareness for people so that when somebody encounters something, they know this is wrong, I can get help and I can get help early, then that's our job done.